Today, I want to talk about 15 things that you can do in the UP this winter. Because I feel lucky that I live in Michigan, where once the snow falls, it's like all of the landscape changes. And so that changes my recommendations about what to go and do. And that's exactly what we're going to cover in this episode of Go Here and Do This. I'm pairing this list with Ludington Bay Brewing Company's Winter Seasonal The Booty. It's a barrel-aged stout in a can. It has all these roasty and toasty attributes that I enjoy in the winter with the portability of cans. And with that being said, let's start at the west end of the UP at Black River Harbor. Once the winter really starts to set in, you get a few vantage points that are just absolutely beautiful. Number 2, in that same area, there are a few different ski and snowboard options, but I actually recommend Indian Head because I really like that you get to park at the top. So the first thing you get to do is jump right into the action by going down the hill, and you don't have to wait for a line to go up on your very first run. Number 3, this doesn't have like a specific spot, but go and snowshoe a local trail. Snowshoeing is the most accessible winter activity that I think somebody could do that requires some form of equipment. Obviously, you can just go and hike, but once the snow really starts to pile up, adding snowshoes is a lot of fun because it can be as easy as going out on a powder day and kind of just knocking out a new trail, or once the snow really starts to pile up, it's awesome to find some vertical heights and being able to jump off into the big snowbanks. Number 4, this seems to make it on the list during every season, but that's kind of because it's worth seeing in every season. Go to Tequamanon Falls in the wintertime. Now, bring snowshoes and be prepared to hike. Upper Falls are awesome this time of the year because there's usually less people at Tequamanon, and the white and silver create a backdrop of snow that really makes the waterfall itself pop. But I like going down to the lower falls. In fact, I always tell people lower falls are more fun, there's more to hike, there's more to do, but you actually have to hike in during this time of the year, and that's where I'd recommend bringing those snowshoes, but totally worth it. Number 5, snowmobiling in the UP might be the Upper Peninsula's most famous winter sport, actually besides hockey. But with over 3,000 miles of groomed trails, you can just pick your trail and you can go an endless amount. Being able to stop in all the small towns along the way really make it for an experience where you get to like travel and you don't feel like you're just kind of repeating yourself on the same loop trails over and over again. Number 6, slide down a hill. Legitimately find a hill and slide down it. I don't care if it's on a school lunch tray or you're sliding down on a tube that has a lift that'll bring you back up to the top. Sault Ste. Marie has some of the fastest tubing runs that I've ever been on. If the snow has been packed down for a couple days, you will shoot right off the end of the trail and actually go way out into what I think are soccer fields. And they're like fast, not like kid fast, they're fast. That's my recommendation. Number 7, follow freighters through the Soo Locks. And what I mean by that is don't just go to the locks and watch them, because in the winter, it's fun, but there's a lot more to do. Follow them as they go down the river and then meet them at Rotary Park, because right there is where the Sugar Island Ferry keeps the water open so it can go back and forth. And watching those freighters take that corner while all the snow is piled up around them is a truly unique experience. And then you get to kind of see them go down the river towards Lake Huron and Lake Michigan and continue their journey. Since we're talking about the Soo, let's talk about number 8, the I-500 weekend. Now, I understand that this is the one weekend of the year and you really have to plan around it, but you need to experience it at least one time. They say it's the most grueling snowmobile race on earth. It's an oval track that's 1 mile of a loop and it's 500 laps. The thing lasts all day. Now, if you're going to go to this, make sure you dress warm, bring plenty of food, and make sure you stock up on plenty of provisions because it'll make your day a lot more fun. And when you experience it the first time, you'll probably want to go back the next year. It's a lot of fun. Number 9, waterfalls in Munising. Winter in Munising is a pretty cool experience, but there's actually the Munising Falls, which is a plowed spot where you can park and then it's just a few hundred yards to this canyon where the water is falling down into the canyon and you actually walk up to the bottom of it. And that's why I recommend that one in particular, because even if the water is still falling, it's really impressive the way that it builds up this ice along the bottom. So that one's like a quick stop, but I would recommend it to just about anybody because of its ease of access. Number 10, visit your favorite lighthouse. If you've been to the UP in the summer, you've probably visited a lighthouse. Go back there. I love going back to Whitefish Point. I love going to Point Iroquois Lighthouse or any of the other ones that I visit throughout the year, because going there in the winter time really changes the whole vibes of what's happening in that area. And you put that blanket of snow down, and if you're lucky, you can still see a freighter passing. It's a completely different experience, and usually few less people while you're there. Number 11, fat biking Marquette. There are so many trails. They're so meticulously taken care of that if you enjoy that at all, that is one of the best spots in the entire state of Michigan to go and do that sport. Number 12, since you're in Marquette, go to the Dead River Falls. Now, this, I want to say, be careful and stay on the trails. The landscape and how beautiful the moving water is through all of the ice formations makes that a very cool experience, especially if you've experienced a different time in the summer. Number 13, going and hiking up Hogsback. Now, the thing is, on a map it says Hogback, but everybody calls it Hogsback. And I don't know if it's like one of those like Myers kind of thing, but I've always called it Hogsback, and that's what I'm going to refer to it as. Now, this is an entire day's worth of hike. And yeah, you can do it in a few hours if you really push yourself, but a good pair of snowshoes, making sure you have plenty of water, some food, and a good pair of snowshoes, or at least those things that stick on the bottom of your shoes to give you better grip, because there's some vertical climbs where you're gonna really want to be sure of your footing, and that's my recommendation, because the lookout over top of all of Marquette from Hogsback is one of the most spectacular views you can get in that entire area. 14, I've talked about this one before, but man, do I love the Cut River Bridge. Maybe it's because once you're crossing over that bridge, it's just a quick pull off and you get all these like neat views because you get to go down into this valley and then you have the bridge over top. But if you're looking for a spot to just stop and stretch your legs, that's definitely worth it. And number 15 comes in at my hidden gem of the week. I'm talking about the Straits State Park. Now, it's just on the north side of the Mackinac Bridge in St. Agnes, and that's where you get this view. I know that it's a very popular state park, but the reason why it made the hidden gem of the week is because you might not think about it in the winter time, and it offers just as much of the beautiful views with kind of a subdued tones of what the summer normally feels like, but it offers a more serene, peaceful experience, and that's what I really like about it. So I would recommend stopping there to anybody that is in the Upper Peninsula. Now, does this list cover everything there is to do in the Upper Peninsula? Absolutely not. But I do hope that you use it as a starting point to plan your own adventure. I do want to say thanks to Ludington Bay Brewing Company, because they make videos like this possible and they keep us stocked up on those winter provisions that are so popular. So make sure you stay warm, and until next time, cheers.